phrase avec deux verbes. Let's talk about how to use two verbs next to each other in a sentence in French. There are several verbs that can be used as the first verb in a two-verb sentence. Generally, the first ones we learn are to like and to hate, or to not like. So, j'aime danser, I like to dance. Je déteste parler, I hate speaking. Those are the first ways that we really start to learn vocabulary for our verbs. But there are several other verbs that are used as the first verb in a two-verb sentence, and many of those verbs are irregular. It's important to know these verbs because it gives you the ability to express more sophisticated ideas. So rather than just saying you're doing something or you like doing something, being able to say that you want to do something, you can do something. One of these verbs is devoir. Devoir means to have to, or often it is translated as must. So, je dois, I must. Je dois faire le travail. I must do the work. Tu dois. Il, elle, elle, on doit. Notice that it ends with a T in the yell form. Nous devons, vous devez, il, elle, elle doivent. So again, on the left-hand side, we're doing SST when we write. On the right-hand side, we're using the V. Also notice that you do the OI for everything except nous and vous, where you're going to do DEV. Okay. So again, we use devoir to say that I have to do something or I must do something. Pouvoir, to be able to, and it is often translated as can. Je peux is one of those phrases that we often learn when we are first learning French. So, je peux, tu peux, il, elle, elle, on peut. Here, similarly to devoir, we have je and tu with the same endings, but yell with a different ending. Nous pouvons, vous pouvez, il, elle, elle peuvent. And again, left-hand side is different than right hand. Right hand includes the V's. That is not included on the left. Also, the EUs and versus the OU for nous and vous. So again, saying that I am able to do something, je peux, followed by the verb. Vouloir, to want. We often learn je voudrais. Je voudrais is the same verb, but it is a different form. Je voudrais meaning I would like, versus je veux meaning I want. And so again, je voudrais is a little bit more polite than je veux, but often when we are dealing with actions, we are going to say je veux. Je voudrais we would use if we're like ordering things or we want things, but je veux is often used with actions. So, je veux, tu veux, il, elle, elle, on veut, very similar to pouvoir. Nous voulons, vous voulez, il, elle, elle veulent, again, very similar. So, devoir, pouvoir, and vouloir are actually family verbs. So when we talked about our irregular verbs, we did talk about irregular verbs often being in families. Devoir, pouvoir, vouloir are family because you have these endings that are different from the right-hand side. And the right-hand side, it comes from the infinitive. And also you have the beginning being different everywhere except the nouveau. And again, in nouveau, it comes directly from the infinitive. So these verbs, again, are commonly used as the first verb in a two-verb sentence. Now, when we say two-verb sentence, We are talking about the two verbs being directly next to each other. They are not separated by and or but or because. Also, they are part of the same idea. So when we look at our examples, I have to learn the lyrics. Another way to say this would be I must learn the lyrics. Okay. So must learn, that's part of the same idea. So in this case, they are right next to each other. So I have devoir, that's the have to, je dois, apprendre, to learn, les paroles, the lyrics. Je dois apprendre les paroles. The important thing to remember here is that the first verb in a two-verb sentence is the one that we change, je dois. Apprendre is in the infinitive. We do not change that second verb. We can listen to music. Another way to translate that would be we are able to listen to music. It would be the same thing in French. Nous pouvons écouter la musique. So again, we can, nous pouvons, then écouter, because it's that second verb of the pair, we leave the same. Marie wants to speak French. Marie veut parler français. Again, Marie veut, and then parler stays the same. We do not change it. So we can use a two-verb sentence to indicate the future. This kind of future is called the futur proche, or the near future. When the verb aller is used as the first verb in a two-verb sentence, it indicates the future because it means going to. It means something is going to happen or someone is going to do something. So it indicates the future. It's important to understand that this is not the future tense, but it is a way to indicate that something is going to happen. So it shows the future, but it's not technically a tense. The reason is because in grammar, when we say tense, we are talking about taking our action, our main action, and changing that verb. And in a two-verb sentence, we don't do that. We take our main action, which is the second verb of a two-verb sentence, and we leave it the same. But we modify it by using that first verb to say have to, can, want to. And if we're using the futur proche, we use aller to indicate going to, which again is going to give us that future idea without technically, grammatically being a tense. So let's review aller. Aller is irregular. It is not in the same family as devoir, pouvoir, vouloir. You have to just learn this one, and it is one of the first verbs that we learn because it's one of our big four. So, aller, to go, je vais, tu vas, il, elle, yel, on va, nous allons, vous allez, il, elle, yel, vont. When we are doing sentences in the futur proche, it works exactly the same as any other two-verb sentence. So if I want to say I am going to choose a song, I first look at I'm going, je vais, and then I add to choose, and then the rest of my sentence. So, je vais choisir une chanson. Je vais choisir une chanson. I'm going to choose it, rather than just saying I choose it. We are going to sing. We are going then to sing. And we could put other information on the end, but this sentence doesn't have different information. So, nous allons chanter. Nous allons chanter. We are going to sing. Again, indicating that future action. As a reminder, the futur proche is simply a two-verb sentence that happens to use aller as the first verb.